Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Lofty Entrepreneur Podcast. I am Tanisha Coffey, aka the Lofty Entrepreneur. Thanks for joining me. As always, we are providing the best tips, tools, and advice and inspiration for aspiring and new entrepreneurs out there. So if you haven't already done so, click now to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Now, on today's show, we have the mindset and marketing mentor, Lis Vaher. In addition to that, she is also a wife, a mother, and the founder of the rapidly growing Powerful Marketers program. And I suspect the reason she's so phenomenal with all of these things, all the hats that she wears, is because of the crown that she has as the Queen of Impossible. So I definitely want to know a little bit more about that. Hi, Lis. Thanks for joining me today. I have to know, how did you earn that title?
Hello, Tanisha. So nice to be here. Thank you. Well, yes, the friends are calling me the Queen of Impossible, and this is because of my story, really. You know, it seems like I'm a very successful entrepreneur and businesswoman, but actually my journey has been quite difficult. I have had, I would say, many crises on my way. So, and I have been like a living proof that everything is possible if you want that, and if there is a motivation and the will. And that's the reason, really, I think people call me the Queen of Impossible.
Because you just see it as there's no other choice. There's situations that I come into, and sometimes they're hard and they're challenging, and you think, oh my gosh, how am I going to deal with this? I don't want to deal with this. And then you have to kind of switch into the mindset of like, failure is not an option. So I'm going to come up against these challenges, but I have to get past them. I have to either go through them, go around them, go under them, but you're going to get past. And it kind of sounds like that is you.
Totally. And I think that there are two kinds of people, really. There are ones who are like victims, who are thinking that, okay, there's nothing I can do. But and there are those people who are like looking for how I can find this solution for this problem. I know it's not easy. It's never easy. My journey has not been easy. I don't say that. I was in a hospital bed when I was only a teenager for more than 6 months. It was crazy for me, stuck in this bed. Doctors told me that it's impossible for me to have my own children in the future, to have my own family. You shouldn't say those things to a teenager girl, right? It affected me a lot at these days. And there were those years when I was this victim, because I thought that my days are over, there's no point of like living fulfilled. And but I am so thankful and grateful that I found my way, and I found this mindset of how to really find the way out of my struggles. Of course, it was a long journey. I would say it took for me 10 to 15 years to actually learn this mindset, how to really be this go-getter. And but I couldn't be happier today, because I have my own children, 2 of them. I have my own family, and this is something they told me it's impossible, but I am a living proof here. Nothing is really impossible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I fully understand you on that. I was not as young as you, when you were told that, but there was a point in my life where I was told pretty much, if I don't go ahead and have, children, I may not be able to. And, at that time I was not, ready to have kids. And so, I was rolling the dice and, hoping that would be a part of my story. And, fortunately today it is. So I fully understand that. What was it that helps you to make that mindset shift to be able to kind of change how you view things?
Well, as I said, it is a journey. It truly is a journey. It's been a journey of my own growth, really. Well, I was 12 when those things started to happen with me. I was pretty much a kid, right? A teenager. So as I said, for me, it was like a 10 or 15 years journey, really. And first, it was all about me. I was like, okay, I'm having those troubles. It's my life, and it's so hard for me. Nobody understands. I'm the victim here. But then suddenly things started to happen, like which weren't about myself, really. Well, I those how should I explain? My mother died. Two of my very good friends died, and one of my friend buried her 3-year-old son. And when I saw those crises, and when I went through those feelings, I understood that, oh my God, life is unbearable sometimes, and it's not about me anymore. You know, it's a bigger thing we are here for. And I started to realize that in order to handle those emotions, I need to work with that. It was unbearable, really, and I just realized that, okay, I need to do something, or otherwise I will not be able to stand up anymore, you know, in my life. So it has been a long journey, but it has like started with the first step when I decided that, okay, I have to help myself. I have to help others, because I see there's so much going on in everybody's lives, and I want to find a way how to handle this. And I want to live my life. I want to be alive. I don't want to only like bury people around me, you know. And I want to feel this joy in my life. So it has been very long journey, really. First, you know, you start to just to acknowledge what is happening around you. Why is it happening? Of course, I had very good therapist at that time, I have to admit. So she helped me a lot. I wasn't able to do this on my own, really. So I think that the key really here is that you need to be surrounded by the right persons. You know, the ones who are not judging you, who are not telling you what you should do, but you should have a chance to really share your thoughts. You know, even if sometimes we don't need advice, we only need to say it out, what we are thinking, and it already helps us to clarify so much.
Right.
So yeah, it's been a journey.
Right, because sometimes it's part of the challenge is just kind of admitting to yourself what
Mhm.
you're feeling, what you're thinking, and then taking that next step to say, well, why? And
Yeah.
then putting into perspective and say, how much does this matter to the grand scheme of your life? Yes, it matters in the moment. You feel it in the moment. It hurts in the moment, or you're angry, whatever it is you're feeling in that moment. But then if you're able to move yourself like you did from a place of pure emotion and then into kind of, and you allow yourself to feel it, but then you move yourself to the logical side and say, okay, this has happened. This is what I'm experiencing. I can't change that.
Mhm.
How am I going to move forward with it? Because what is happening is what is. I don't
Mhm.
like it, so how am I going to change it? What am I going to do about it? And that shifts you back into that place of empowerment and power and being powerful. And so I definitely commend you for that. Because I can kind of feel, I don't know your full story. I'm not gonna, pull those things out, but I can feel you, and I can, understand the notion of going through those struggles. So I thank you for, sharing that with me today.
Thank you.
And I thank you and I congratulate you for having that strength, because a lot of people don't. A lot of people stay in those places, but you were able to come back and come through all of that. And then, so you fast forward several years until about, I think, the mid 2000s, around 2015. Correct me
Mhm.
if I'm wrong. And you come onto the scene and you come out with this concept, powerful marketers, right? So I want to know a little bit. Tell me about um, just kind of powerful marketers, how it came to be, And then we'll dive deeper into, kind of what you do with it. But just how'd you go from there, that place, that transition, to taking and owning your powerful and creating powerful marketers?
Yes, thank you. Happy to do that. So yeah, I started to work first as a salesperson in one company, and I found that sales is very interesting. It's and from there I decided to went to study sales and marketing, and after this I realized at the same time, pretty much, I also met my therapist, right? And I, as I went through those personal struggles as well, and during those therapies, really, I realized that okay, psychology helps me a lot personally, and I realized that sales and marketing is also based on psychology. Really, we are all first and foremost the persons, right? And then we are professionals. So that was only like a logical for me, to find this synergy in between those sales, marketing, client service, and psychology. And after many years working in sales and marketing myself, also studying this in the high school and in the university later, as I graduated. MBA from marketing, I started my first company, where I provided those marketing services for mostly it was small and medium sized companies. I help with different projects, and after working with those marketers. The director of the Institute of Marketing in Estonia found me, and she liked the way I was like approaching to the marketers, and she was the one who asked me first if I should go and teach the marketers or become a mentor there. And that was first time when I realized that okay, if I want to like tell to others how I see it or how I want to teach them, I should have a certain framework, right? Or a structure. And I started to put together this framework. Also, at the same time, as I said, I was running my own company, and I worked very closely with business owners and with marketers. And I started to see those patterns in the struggles they're having. I must say it wasn't always the certain marketing, let's say, skill, because you can find this kind of help, how to, I don't know, do the ads on Facebook or do this or that. The main struggles really are with our mindsets, with our stress level, with our anxiety. The main struggles comes from if we don't have the fundamentals clear and steady, if we really don't know very clearly why we are doing and what we are doing here, if we feel like imposters, or even the struggles were included, they didn't know how to communicate, in a very professional way. Oftentimes, they tend to take things or feedback personally, and the decisions are emotional, oftentimes, and so on. So I started to realize that okay, there are many things that marketers need help with. And of course, there are marketing skills as well they need help with. And so after hiring my own mentor and business strategist, I started to work toward this framework. So yeah, in actually 2018 was the year when I was like clear with that okay, now that's the way I should approach to this. And of course, it's been, for me, it's like almost 18 years of my practical work, my studies. Like I've gone through many researches. I've read a lot of books, listened to tons of podcasts, etc. So it's been a crazy work, but I know that thanks to this crazy amount of work, I can now help those marketers and business owners there because I have condensed this information for them. And so why I created this is I want to empower those overwhelmed marketers. I want to see them growing professionally and personally. So essentially, it means I know that they can turn yourself into their superpower. You know, that means that they should be grounded, and they should be having this feeling every day that no matter what situation comes tomorrow, I am well equipped for that. I'm well equipped to deal with that emotionally. You know, I'm there with my mindset. I know what I can do, what I can't do, what I know very well. I know the things that I don't know very well. So yeah, this is pretty much the reason why I started this Powerful Marketers, because there are so many marketers out there who are pretty much alone. You know, they don't have nobody to discuss with those topics that I just mentioned, and I can see that it is helping them.
Right. So I want to ask you, there's a phrase that I've seen you use. It said, blurred focus gives blurred results. What do you mean by that?
Well, you will only become organized and consistent with the right actions, really. So that's what I mean. You know, in marketing, you feel like you always have to do something, constantly jumping from this one activity to another, and yet nothing seems to work, right? We see this quite often in our marketing. So that's why marketers, they feel overwhelmed by the amount of work. You know, they feel like they keep on piling new things in hopes to achieve those better results, right? But in reality, as I said, many feel like imposters, not truly knowing what works in the marketing and which trend I should follow today. You know, that's the problem here, I see.
Definitely. And I know that one big problem that a lot of marketers have, whether they're new or seasoned, is just failing to have like a long-term marketing strategy, which would help with kind of keeping yourself from fluctuating between kind of, oh, let me go after this trend and after that trend. So from your perspective, what does that mean, and how do you go about putting that long-term marketing plan in place? How would you recommend people do that?
Well, ideally, I think that every marketer should feel confident in their understanding of where and why they are going with their marketing. You know, they should follow this certain framework because it really supports themselves in a daily decision making the most. And they should be using those right activities in their marketing to consistently move towards the vision, right? Because only then every activity really supports the other, and collectively they create this synergy. So to paint you this better picture, maybe imagine being lost in a crossroad and having people yell at you from all ends that you should take their road without even knowing your destination. You know, this is what happens in marketing all the time, really. You are bombarded even with amazing last minute offers from the channels, or you have this expert advice from literally everybody around you. Because what I see, marketing is something that most people think they know how to do this. You know, how hard can it be? You get to spend all your day on social media, they think, right? So, but it's like the driving your car, you know, aimlessly every day, just rolling around, not knowing where you need to go. You will run out of gas and energy, of course, very quickly, and you will be tired, you will be nervous. So that's why we need the goals, and we need the structure, and we need this framework where to go. So pretty much the same reason why children needs goals and structure. It gives them a feel of safety.
Right, exactly. And you talk a lot about metrics and measuring the things that you're doing, you know, to help you to kind of see what's working and what's not. So what type of metrics do you think, what maybe 2 or 3 do you think are the most important, and what tools do you recommend that people use to help with that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, metrics are very important, I would say, even the most important things here. But what to measure, of course, depends on the industry and on the business. And what I also see is that people try to measure too much things, you know, but you don't have to measure everything for the sake of measuring, but you just need to be clear on how you get your leads, of course, how do they convert, you know, which channels, which activities, and how it affects your bottom line, really. Those are the, I would say, three most important things. If you cannot measure something directly, there are some things you can't. You can always do it indirectly by asking for a feedback from customers, or you know the time frame when something happened, and you can understand that, okay, this probably affected my results. And yeah, so you should track your metrics, I would say, at least monthly, especially the sales metrics. But one thing, please don't jump to conclusions too soon, because there are so many channels and activities that need up to 3 or 6 or even 9 months before you start seeing those behavior changes. You know, the trend is more important here. So repetition and focus are the key. And if you ask for the platforms, then my favorite today is Google Data Studio, because it helps you really to put all the metrics all together, and you can see this those numbers dynamically. So they are like changing during the day, and you can see the previous period, and you can compare with what happened last month or last year even. So for me, that's the main tool that I'm using with metrics myself right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. So I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about Powerful Marketers Program. This framework that you've created, massively popular. And I'd love for you to kind of just tell the listeners and viewers a little bit about the program very quickly. I know you're at the end of your day, it's the beginning of mine, but you're at the end of your day. So, you know, just in a few short words, kind of sum up, what is the program kind of about, and why is it so different from a lot of the other marketing kind of coaching and training programs that are out there, because it really is.
Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity. I'm very happy to talk about this. So the Powerful Marketer Program, as I said, is built on 5 most important pillars that every marketer should learn sooner or later. I know this. So it all starts with the 5 pillars are, first is mindset. So this is where marketers need to work with their goals, with their stress and anxiety level, and of course with their self-confidence. So this is the first pillar here. The second thing is fundamentals, which means that business fundamentals and psychological fundamentals. As I said, it's sales, marketing, client service, and psychology. They are so logical, really, and it is not a rocket science, I have to say. It's much more easier than we tend to think. And if you know those fundamentals and those psychological truth there, it will become much more clear, and you will get to, you don't feel this imposter anymore, you know. So of course there are professional skills. We are helping marketers here, meaning building your strategy, your tactical planning, the channels, and I would say the most favorite part here for our students are those like hands-on sessions with our strategist, because this is where we really help you to organize your marketing, and even we can even help you with some technical aspects if you need to, I don't know, help with how to build your data studio, for example, in the Google and those things. So what it makes very different is this practical side of this, because, you know, we all go to those different courses, but we don't have like time, or we don't know how to really put those systems into real life, you know, how to
exactly
apply them.
Yeah, you see the videos, it seems so simple, and you think you're taking it all in, but it's a whole other kind of feast when you're when you're actually going through the motions of doing it, to put into place in the real world, to actually use it specifically for your business. It's completely different.
Exactly. And you know, after going through those different courses, we are so motivated first, but if we don't apply the things, we feel again very bad, and we feel like, okay, I again, this, you know, it's like disappointment to yourself, really. So that's why we are here to really help you to apply those things. And there is the strategist who will make sure that that you will get all the help needed. So, and on top of those 3 pillars, there is also communication pillar and leadership pillar, which means that every marketer needs to know how to communicate with other people in a way they are expecting, not the way that we want to communicate with them. So this is where we talk about different personality types, of course, how to approach them, different generations, and this is the part where we learn and we practice networking. So I also host myself this monthly networking, and my clients come also there, and they have a chance to practice their networking pitches and those things. And the 5th pillar that every marketer should anyway learn sooner or later is leadership. And what I mean by that is you should be able to lead, of course, yourself. You should know how to stay accountable yourself, how to hold your team accountable, how to lead your time and your projects, really, so that it will be most effective and most productive for everybody. So those are the topics we cover there. And if you really ask what makes us different, those 5 pillars in synergy makes us different, because this is where we have worked through hundreds of books, articles, resources, etc. So there are many of those names that you may know, because of course we have gathered information into those pillars from, you know, worldwide influencers. There are you can find the names like Tony Robbins there, and of course Hal Elrod is there, and Seth Godin, and you know, all of those influencers and very like big professionals in those topics are there. So they're all covered, and that's what makes it like different. You can have it like all from one place, I would say. And of course, what makes us different is our people. I love my team. I love our strategist, and we are here to help really marketers. And as I said, it's totally hands-on. We do it with you, and we help you to go through them. So you are not alone here. It's not only that you have to learn and we do nothing.
Well, thank you so much. We're coming up on the end of our time here. So I want real quick, please tell everybody, how can they get in touch with you? How can they find more out about the Powerful Marketers program and the mastermind that you host, the networking mastermind? Let us know all those details so everybody can kind of catch up with you and check you out.
Yes, thank you. So you can find me pretty much everywhere in social media, from LinkedIn. My name is Lis Vaher. I'm also in Facebook and also in Instagram. And our website is powerfulmarketers.com, but it's with the dash, so it's powerful-marketers.com. And you can find all the information about the program there and about the community we're building, because the aim here really for us with those networking events also is to bring those marketers together, so you can find those like-minded people there, and you can have those one-on-one discussions with pretty much with every marketer around the world.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me today. Everybody, I hope you guys got some wonderful nuggets from Lis. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for sharing that. And I think it's so important. Your perspective and your pillars is very, very different than a lot of programs out there. Yes, programs touch on mindset and other things, but your combination is truly unique. So I thank you for sharing that with us today. Thank everybody who's listening. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out the links in the description. I'll have all that contact information from Lis, as well as some information from me to help you guys out on your entrepreneurial journeys. Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.